From Coin 6, your local election headquarters, this is an Eye on Northwest Politics special.
Welcome back. The city of Portland's form of government, Portland's form of city government, it's been hotly debated for years. Nearly everyone, including current city commissioners, agree the structure of city government needs to change in Portland. But what those changes look like is under fierce debate and a lot of scrutiny right now. Before we talk about the proposed changes to Portland city government, let's go over how the Rose City currently operates. For more than a century, Portland City Hall is run by a mayor and 4 other city commissioners who each run their own respective bureaus like Portland Police, the Fire Department, or Housing. Many say it's as if Portland has 5 mayors because they work largely independently of one another. It's also the only major city in America currently operating under this commission-style system. Well, the current proposal on the ballot for Portlanders, Measure 26228, would relieve city commissioners as heads of individual bureaus. Instead, a city administrator or a city manager and the mayor would oversee city operations. 4 city council districts would be created with 3 commissioners elected from each district. And ranked choice voting would be used for all elections. Ranked choice voting, also called single transferable vote. And if approved, ranked choice voting allows voters to rank their preferences rather than choosing only one representative. Let's bring in our political analyst, Dana Haynes. And Dana, you do have a unique perspective on this because you were communications director for Mayor Charlie Hales at the time. So you know how City Hall operates. What do you think about this current system, this current commission system?
Before I got there, I thought it was dysfunctional, and I got there and realized it was much, much worse than that. It was a clown car. There are bad communications within City Hall. There are these silos you can't get through. And a really quick example, I'll just run through this really fast. Parks and Recreation was going to do a press event, and they were going to have a press release coming day. I worked for the mayor. I said, Parks and Rec, can we see your guys' press release so I can make sure the mayor says the same things you say so we can align our comments? And they said, no, our commissioner said the mayor cannot see our press releases. That would never happen in any other city in America. The dysfunction and the lack of communication and the 5 mayor process is bonkers. And anything would be better than what we got now.
Yeah, we really see this play out with the homeless crisis because in order to effectively deal with homelessness, it involves a number of different bureaus that are under different commissioners. So do you see that as being an impediment to actually getting things done?
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. And it's over and over again. If you want to build houses faster, you have got to go through 3 or 4 different bureaus, and they're controlled by 3 or 4 different elected officials. If you want the homeless crisis, whatever the crisis is, there's a good chance you're going to run into an internal wall long before you run into a wall outside of City Hall. The biggest impediment to this City Hall is this City Hall.
Yeah. Portland City Commissioner Mingus Mapps is one of the most vocal critics of the current form of government. He is actively campaigning against the current proposal. Commissioner Mapps says he thinks the mayor should have a stronger role, including veto power. He has released his own proposal that he hopes to bring to next year's ballot. In it, he calls for 7 single-member districts rather than 4 districts run by 3 elected officials from each district. Mapps says he's also not sold on the ranked choice or single transferable vote system.
I think it's not clear what kind of representation we're likely to get from the system, nor is it clear how a single transferable system welded onto a multi-member districts is going to make Portland any better at housing people or filling potholes or combating climate change.
Well, on the other side of this argument, Melanie Billings-Young is the former co-chair of the Commission to Reform Portland's Government, and she says the proposal that's on the ballot this time around would give minority groups a stronger voice.
When we tried to draw 7 individual districts, every single one was dominated by white voters, every single one was dominated by householders, every single one was dominated by people who had incomes of $70,000 a year or more.
Well, both Commissioner Mapps and Billings-Young agree the form of government needs to change. Mapps hopes that voters will reject this measure and approve his proposal next year, while others are hoping that the current proposal gets passed on November 8th. Now, Dana, if voters decide against the current proposal, how likely do you think that Mapps' proposal could get passed next year?
Let me say that we have endorsed Mingus Mapps in the past. We think the guy's really, really bright, a very good lawmaker. I think he's wrong about this issue, and here's why. Oregonians hate being asked to vote twice on an issue. If you ask them, do you want to pump your own gas, they'll say no. Ask them again, do you want to pump your own gas, and they'll say, oh, heck no, I already ruled on this one. And they'll kill it by a much bigger margin. Do you want a sales tax? No. Do you want a sales tax? Oh, heck no. So if this measure, the one that's in front of us right now, goes down in defeat, and if Mingus Mapps comes back next year, my guess is there's an excellent chance his will get defeated as well, and we'll be stuck with the status quo. I have to tell you, I love Portland. I live in Portland. You can see the coin tower from my bedroom. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Portland deserves a better model of governance than we've got. I think the one that's on the table for this right now doesn't seem perfect, but it's better than the status quo.
Yeah, we're almost out of time, but before we go, Dana, you've covered politics, been around politics for more than 2 decades in this area. What are your final thoughts as we approach Election Day on Tuesday, November 8th?
One is that on the national level, you're seeing all this drama about long lines of voting and people not going to work because they had to vote, or you'll see voters being intimidated or poll workers being intimidated. And every state in the union ought to just simply adopt the Oregon vote-by-mail system. It's tried, it's true, it's auditable, it's stood for a long period of time, and every Republican in the state of Oregon ought to do a whistle tour when this is done, to go to every other state to say, you want to get rid of the drama you all have on Election Day? Go to the Oregon model. We know it works, it's proven.
Yeah, and we've had no major issues with vote by mail since it was instituted.
No drama.
Yeah. Well, if you want to follow this midterm election or any other stories, Pamplin Media, the Portland Tribune, and Dana Haynes are working on, you can do that by going to portlandtribune.com. Also, I recently sat down one-on-one with each gubernatorial candidate on Eye on Northwest Politics. If you missed any of those conversations, you can watch them in their entirety on our website, coin.com/NWPolitics. That'll do it for our Eye on Northwest Politics midterm election special. Thanks again to Dana Haynes, our political analyst and managing editor at Pamplin Media. We appreciate your time and your insight on this program. And thank you all for joining us at home. Coin 6 will have your full election night coverage on Tuesday, November 8th. And remember, whatever you do, get out there and vote.